Stretch and Strength Yoga today. We are going to make use of our blocks, and we're going to start standing on our feet today. So we start our practices by grounding, by trying to get ourselves on the mat, out of all the other things that are going on in our lives, out of our worries, out of yesterday and tomorrow. So land on your feet. Start to take some movements around on your feet. Take your feet a little bit wider than hip width and really just land on your feet. Feel your feet, move your feet around, change the weight in your feet. Land here. Have physical sensation on your feet. Move your toes. Start to really soften the legs, soften the lower back, soften the shoulders. Soften the face and then bring your hands to prayer heart space. Really start to land in the present moment. So we're going to work pretty hard today, but we're also going to focus on cultivating joy. So we're going to do some things that might be a little difficult, and I want you to invite in the concept of laughing at yourself, finding joy in the things that you can achieve and the things that you've yet to get the strength for, things that we've yet to learn. Finding joy in the present moment. So as you land on your mat, perhaps bringing a soft smile to your face, maybe even closing your eyes. And if a soft smile is really hard to cultivate today, maybe think of something that really makes you smile. Perhaps a puppy, a kitten, a beautiful sunset, something that easily brings a little joy into your life. And then we're going to awaken our inner child. So, why do 2-year-olds stomp their feet when they're having overwhelming emotions? Because it grounds us. It gets us centered in the moment. So start to tap your feet. Take it little at first. Just tap your feet out. Feel your feet on the ground. Start to loosen the muscles as you're tapping. Like let go of control. And then start to really loosen the arms. And then maybe just start to really tap it out. Like you're loosening and getting rid of excess energy. See how much you can loosen it up. How much can you loosen your whole entire body? And then land. And connect with your breath. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, prayer to heart. Bring your prayer to heart. Ground down again. We're going to move into breath of joy. So this is supposed to stimulate some energy. So mindful as you go. Pay attention to your body. This is a great one for increasing energy when you feel a little stagnant. So we're going to work on a 3-part inhale. So it's and then a out. And there's arm movements with it. So we bring our first breath, arms up. First part of our inhale, arms up. Second part of our inhale, arms out. And third part of the inhale, arms up, and then sweep. Body soft, sweep forward with the exhale and the hop out. So inhale, 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 and then let it go. So really connect with this. Bonus points if you can do it with a smile on your face. We're cultivating joy, cultivating positive energy, bringing in some joy into our practice today. So feet a little bit wider than hip with the bar. Body soft, shoulders soft. And then 3-part inhale and a long exhale out. Take a couple of rounds, and as soon as you feel like if you feel like you're getting overstimulated, just return, hands to prayer, heart space, mountain pose. Okay. bring it back. Mountain pose. And really close your eyes. Start to really feel the energy moving around in your body. If you feel it's a little excessive, inhale in and sigh out of the mouth, nice and soft and slow. And then bringing our hands to our hips. Just so we know what our hips are doing, we're going to start to use muscular action to bend into the knees. And we're just going to start to bring the weight onto the left leg and bring the right leg over and out, nice and slow. Inhale in, exhale out. Inhale in, exhale out. Start to fire up the muscles of the right leg and start to think about moving the heel. Bring your hands out to help you balance. You can tap your toe or challenge your balance by just keeping the leg up. Bring the right leg down, start to bring the weight onto the right leg. So an eye on the hips. Try not to do this. Bringing your hip out, making this muscle group be the stabilizers. Bring your hips in. Squeeze all of your stomach muscles if you're pulling in towards midline and pulling back towards the spine. Bring the left leg up. Inhale in, exhale out. You can tap. You can challenge your balance. Trying to find and connect with the muscles that make this movement happen. So we're not just flopping our leg around loosely, we're trying to connect. Inhale, exhale, nice and slow. Move your leg with control. Bring that down. Take your feet a little bit wider. Not quite goddess length, but a little bit wider, maybe about mat width apart. We're going to land our feet on the ground. So imagine you're trying to pull your feet apart without letting them move. Start to fire up the muscles of the legs. We're going to take the hips a little bit over to the right and then a little bit over to the left, trying to find the muscles of the legs. And then start to bend the knees a little bit as you come over. Nice and slow with control. Still that action as if you're locking your feet in place. Bring it back and we're going to step our feet a little bit wider. So now we're almost goddess width apart. Nice and wide. We're going to move a lot here. So get your blocks handy. You want one kind of near either foot. So we're going to bend into the right leg. Bring the torso forward. Engage the core so you're nice and strong, holding your torso in place. Start to really bend into this right leg. So fire up all the muscles of the legs. Don't just hang out in the joints. And then we're going to take a little bend, send to straight. Little bend, send to straight. Move with your breath. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale as you bend. Try not to let this left leg start to just laze out. Activate the left leg too. Stabilize. Find your muscles. Bend into the right leg, hold it here. Now you may want to just hang out with your block. So bring your block in and rest your hands here just for balance so that you can be nice and stable. We're gonna move the toes of the right foot. So you wanna lock the legs so they're nice and strong, really tight muscles. You're gonna pull the toes in towards center and then out on this right foot. In towards center and then out. So you can do this by holding your block as you get used to the movement. You're kind of rolling around on the heel. Or you can stay up. You make it a little more challenging. Take the arms out, make the torso heavier. You should start to find the muscles of the inner thigh and the outer leg. Nice and slow, with control. And then bring your toes back, neutral, nice and strong. Bring your block in front of that right leg. You're gonna bring your fingertips onto your block and start to bring the weight really over onto the right leg. So you're gonna lift up this left leg. Bring it so that you can get it up, hold it, lift from the heel. We're gonna inhale as we lift, exhale as we lower. Lifting from the heel, inhale, lift, exhale, lower. So, if you want to get crazy, you're going to try and balance while you're doing this. This movement comes from the leg, not the back. So be mindful to really engage the core. And make sure you're using the leg, not the low back, to make this movement happen. Land that left leg. We're going to bring the block right where the left leg is, and we're going to place the left foot on the block. And we're going to come down onto the right block again, this time stretch. So, looking for inner thigh stretch. Land your foot on the block and move your hips until you find that point where you're opening up inside left leg. Breathe. You can hold this static or you can move. Slowly adjust. You can bring your foot off the block. Set up for the block on the right side and the left side. And we're going to move with our breath. So come on up to start. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, purr to heart sink the hips, goddess. Inhale. Exhale. Moving with our breath. Smile. Bring your hands down to heart space and smile. Find that point you can hold in goddess where you're activating your legs, but you're not just hanging out in your joints, taking a break. If you need a break, come on up to star and take a break. Hold, breathe, smile. Notice left and right sides because we only worked one side. And then feet turn back in. We're going to go over to the other side. So start to bend into the left leg and take the weight over to the left leg. Engage the stomach all the way up and bring the torso forward. You can hold on to your block. And we're going to bring our left foot toes in, toes out. Slow with control. And you can do this without holding the block, or you can hold the block. Mindful that you're moving slow because we're moving the knee in funky angles. We may not have strength in some of these angles, so we want to go slow with care. Pay attention. Moving with your breath, nice, slow, controlled movement. Bring your toes back to neutral, torso forward, maybe holding the block. Start to really bring the weight over to the left. And we're going to pop up that right leg, lifting from the heel. So really lifting from the heel. Leg is strong and active. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower the leg. You can tap down. You can hold your block, or you can begin to try and challenge your balance. Left leg is bent and active, nice and strong. Movement's not coming from the back, it's coming from the leg. Lower the right foot down, find your block. Place your right foot onto your block and move around until you can find that inner thigh opening on the right side. So if you have super open, you're not particularly tight, and you don't feel some of these stretches, play with pressing in and away or pulling towards you so that you can activate the muscles. So move the way that you're activating your muscles. It may find you a stretch, even though you're typically flexible. Breathe. Slowly adjust and bring the foot off the block. Both feet down on the ground, toes point forward. You can use your block to hold torso forward. So legs closer together are going to work the backs of the legs, and legs further apart will work inner thighs. Find which part you would like to work on. So once you land your feet, feel like you're pulling your feet apart without letting them move. Fire up the legs, and then either hold this static or take little sways of the hips. Tiny, tiny sways. Slowly wiggle your feet back in towards hip distance apart. And then take a giant inhale as we rise up, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Bring it down. Prayer to heart, notice whatever is present. Soften the shoulders, the face. Try a soft smile. And then we're going to take a giant step backwards with our left leg. Land in a high lunge. So, high lunge with a stable base. Legs are both active. That may mean a bigger bend in the back leg. Strong core and a really stable base. We're going to work through right foot. So you want to be super stable. Maybe even bring your hands to your hips or arms out. We're going to releve the right foot nice and slow and then lower. Releve and lower. Lifting the heel nice and slow, legs active. Step the back foot in a little bit, land it on the ground, so foot's on the ground. We're going to pull the hips facing forward, pull back into the heel of this back front leg, maybe bend the leg. We're looking for the back of the leg. So torso long and far forward. If you are not feeling this, you can use a block here. So land your right foot on the block, bend, hips even forward, pull back from the heel all the way to the hip. So notice we're focusing all on the leg here. We're not forward folding, bringing our nose to our knee. We're focusing just on the leg. Slowly bring the torso back up. Stand on the left leg. And bring the right leg back. Tap it up. Connect with the breath. Inhale up, smile. Exhale, purr to heart. Inhale up. Bring in joy. Draw it down to your heart. One more time. It's time to take a giant step back with the right leg. High lunge. Set your strong foundation first. So legs are really strong. We're not just hanging out here. We're active and strong. Slowly releve left foot. Lift and lower the heel. Move with your breath. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Hands can be a prayer. They can be on your hips, wherever you're comfortable. Try to find all of the muscles that make this movement happen. How do you stabilize your knee, your ankle? What muscles are involved? And then land the back foot down. Adjust your block, if you're using the block. Left heel placed on the ground. Pull back from the heel. Hips facing forward, torso long. Find the back of the leg. Breathe. Slowly come on up to stand and tap it up. Smile on your face. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, purr to heart. Inhale. Bring joy. Draw it to your heart. We're going to work on side body, so feet a little bit wider than the hips. We're going to inhale, arms overhead, and rather than rainbow shape, we're going to pull an arm down, push an arm up. Inhale, pull and push. So inhale as your arms rise, exhale as you pull and push. Thinking about side body, lengthening side body. So rainbow breath would be a little floppier. We're trying to actively lengthen side body. Reach and lengthen. Maybe even push a hip over a little more. Inhale up, exhale, lengthen side body. Inhale up and prayer to heart. Soften your legs, your shoulders, your face. Notice what is present. Now we're going to inhale up and swan dive it down. Step back, high plank. Hold a high plank, breathe and hold. Lower the knees and lower the forearms. So, land your forearms down on the ground. Imagine you're pulling your arms and your hands apart without letting them move. Activate arms and shoulders and chest. Draw your stomach in towards the spine. Start to be really, really, really active. We're going to inhale as we draw our nose a teeny bit forward, and exhale as we draw our nose a teeny bit back. Nice and slow with control. Inhale forward and exhale back. If you're ready to pump this up, you're going to tuck the toes and hover the knees. See if you can do this with a smile on your face. Slow, with control. Lower the knees, keeping the forearms engaged. Slowly sink the hips backward and look for opening on the back of your upper arms. Maybe rest your head down. Really start to connect with the back of the upper arms, opening here. And you can stay here if this feels good, or if you'd like, and you have your blocks, rest the back right behind the elbow, not on the joint, on the block. And then sink the hips backwards. You can clasp prayer overhead. You can just leave your hands wherever they're comfortable. Breathe. Slowly, come on up. Bring yourself to a seated position. Feet forward, knees up. And we're going to work the core a little bit before we come on down. So, feet on the ground, pressing into the ground so your legs are active. You're going to lean back only a teeny bit, just enough so you can connect with the muscles in the stomach. Pulling your muscles in towards center and back towards the spine. If you have a block, you're going to grab it and hold it. Otherwise, just imagine you're holding a block, arms out. So active and strong in the chest too. Things to watch for. Try not to tip your skull back. And try not to overly crunch your neck down. So neutral neck, active and strong. We're going to inhale as we push our block forward. Exhale as we tilt to the right. Inhale, push. Exhale, tilt. So notice I say push and tilt. That keeps all of my focus on the center core muscles. Watch for this. Watch for trying to use your back to make the movement happen. That's not what we're working right now. Inhale, exhale, twist. Feet are still grounded. Face is soft. Bring your block down. Pull your chest forward like you're trying to lengthen the muscles in the front of the stomach. Breathe. And then come on down to your back. So make your way down to your back. Land on your back. Take a second to really land here. Notice what is present. Bring feet to the ground, knees up. Really land your hips on the ground. So begin to bring some strength into the stomach, pressing the hips down into the ground. We're going to keep the left foot grounded. So a little bit of action in the left leg so that our hips are grounded, our left leg is grounded. Bring the right leg to a hover with the knee bent. So still focusing on those stabilizer muscles. The ones on the inside and the outside. So we're going to move our leg here with our breath nice and strong. Think about moving from the heel. We're going to inhale, draw the heel in towards nose, in towards center, and then draw the heel out towards the outside. Inhale, draw it in. Exhale, draw it out. Nice and slow. Mindful of what is going on in the body. So sometimes when some of these muscles are weak, we're going to invite the bigger muscles to the party so they can do all the work. So watch for that. Watch for your compensation patterns. So I'm going to have this all in the inner thigh and outer leg. Inner leg and outer leg. Nice and slow. Watch for the back doing some work. Maybe engage the stomach a little more to push the hips into the ground. Keep them stable. And then bring that down. Take a little side sway. Land the right foot, ground it, ground the hips, hover the left leg with the knee bent. We're going to pull the heel in towards center. Exhale, pull it out to the right. Again, we don't want to be moving our hips around on the ground trying to get some different shapes. We really want to be grounded and moving through the leg and the stabilizer muscle. When you're pulling your leg out to the outside, give a little push of the knee inward. When you're pulling the heel in, give a little push of the knee outward. Really start to find the muscles that make all these angles happen in our legs. And then bring it down, shuffle side to side. Bring your feet up towards the ceiling. So, connecting with those same groups of muscles, we're going to turn our toes in. So turn your toes in and feel which muscles turn our feet in. See if you can feel it all the way through the leg. A little grounding of the hips, maybe even reminding your hips with your hands to stay grounded. And then turn your feet all the way out. Notice which muscles are firing up. And then we're going to inhale as we squeeze in. Exhale as we squeeze out. Nice and slow with control. And then bring your knees in. Give yourself a little hug. Reset. Holding on to your legs, look at your feet, lift your feet up, and take really slow ankle circles. So just as slow as you can, as if you're trying to find every angle your foot can move in. And then all the way back in the other direction. Spread your toes wide, and then curl your toes. Spread wide, and curl. See if you can get spaces between each of your toes, really stretching your toes, and then curl, squeeze. And give yourself a little hug. Reset. Take your legs really long, reach your arms up overhead, and stretch from your fingertips to your toes. Slide the shoulders and arms over to the right and slide the feet over to the right, making a big banana shape on the ground, opening left side body. Breathe into the rib cage on the left side as if gently pressing your breath in between each rib. And slowly slide through center and over to the other side. Breathe into right side body. Bring your torso back to neutral, feet to the ground, knees up. Take a little wiggle, a little reset. Bring the right leg up to the ceiling and press through the leg. So really start to activate, press through the leg. And then bring the leg over to the right. So foot may need to be closer to the ground or further away from the nose or closer to the nose. See which one feels better for you. Hold the leg open. So leg active, hold it open. You can hold it with the hand. You can grab a strap and wrap the strap on. Things to watch for. We're opening up this right side inner thigh. We don't want to be pulling into the back. So perhaps bringing our hands to our hips, reminding our hips to remain grounded. You can move the leg or keep it static. Bend the knee, bring it back to center, little reset. Left leg comes up, gets active. So really active legs, active muscles in the leg. And then opening up to the left side, keeping the hips grounded. And you can keep it static or move the leg. Slowly bring the left leg back down. Take a little shuffle with the hips. Wrap right knee over left. Bring the knees in towards the chest and draw the feet to opposite shoulders with your muscles of your legs. And then maybe rest in. Looking for release in right glute, piriformis space. Nice, long, slow breaths. Maybe trying to bring that soft smile back to your face. Slowly unravel. Switch sides, left knee over right, feet to opposite shoulders. Slowly unravel, and we're going to bring the soles of our feet together and let our knees open out. So experience this as a stretch first. Find the place where your low back is super comfortable. You may need to wiggle and adjust your hips. Breathe in to your hips. Notice what is present. What is keeping your knees in the position that they are? Maybe they're flopped all the way to the ground. Maybe they're up super high. But notice what it is that's holding them where they are. Really check in. Is it tight? Is it just where they sit? Breathe into the space of the hips in an opening. So this shape is somewhat vulnerable. It's open across the hips. We're lying with all of our vulnerable spaces open, but our back is on the ground. So begin to feel the support of the ground below you. Notice that the ground is there. Remind your shoulders that the ground is there. Remind your head that the ground is there, that the muscles of the neck can start to loosen their burden. Feel the soles of your feet connecting.
And we're going to go into a grounding meditation. So, trying to keep this shape, but trying to make a very honest assessment with ourselves. Where is this shape actually held for us? So this is the stretch point. From this stretch point, grab some props, blankets, maybe you have your blocks, and remove your legs from that stretch point. So lift them up about an inch higher than that stretch point by placing something under the knees. Really important that we're no longer in our stretch point. We are now in that same open shape, but without any physical tension. So my knees are about an inch higher, maybe about 2 inches higher now. And I can feel the blocks under my legs. So I can really feel the support of the blocks under my legs. You may even want to add a blanket for that extra protective feeling as we go into this meditation. So bring some warmth to your hands by rubbing them together. Make them nice and warm. And as you're doing that, another little check-in in your low back. Make sure there's no gripping. Make sure your shoulders are nice and soft. There's no gripping in the neck. Bring the hands onto the hips. So feel the warmth of your hands on your hips. Imagine the warmth of your hands could soften any tension resting in this space. And it can be helpful to say to yourself right here in this moment, all of my needs are met. Grounding down, feeling support below us. And if it's comfortable for you, and if you're not holding tension here, you can leave your hands here. You can prop your arms up if your shoulders feel tight and you want to keep your hands in this space. Or you can rest your arms open and let your shoulders really melt into the ground. Lots of choices. See which one's working for you. In this space, we're going to imagine moving energy, moving joyous and grounding energy through our base. So we worked all those stabilizer muscles today. Now we're going to imagine sending energy around that space. So we're going to imagine whatever helps you connect. Maybe it's a ball of energy, maybe it's a color, maybe it's a temperature moving, whatever helps you connect. You're going to imagine sending energy down the left leg, through the soles of the feet where the soles of the feet meet, and then pull it up through the right leg. Joyous, grounding energy, moving freely, and this joyous energy is sweeping away tension. Warm, happy, joyous energy, vitalizing energy, healing energy, moving down the left side, through the soles of the feet, and back up through the right, and crossing the hips. Sending energy down your left leg, joining at the hips, joining at the soles of the feet, up the right leg, and across the hips. And as you're focusing on moving that energy, I'm going to read our Cultivating Joy card. Joy is inspiring, life-giving, and deeply healing. To allow joy, it is essential that you nurture yourself. You have healthy relationships and cultivate forgiveness of yourself and others. It is also important to foster a connection with your inner child and your higher self. It is your birthright to feel joy, a gift back to your own soul and your loved ones to allow it. Gently see if you can switch the direction of your joyous, healing, happy, playful, childish energy, moving from the center, down the right leg, joining at the feet, up the left leg, and back across the hips. So an intention that is given with this card, my intention is to allow myself to feel joy and to cultivate habits that are enlivening, healthy, and inspiring. Sending healing, healthy, vitalizing energy down the right leg, up the left leg, and across the hips. And then let go of your thoughts of moving energy and just land right in the center of the hips and the soles of the feet. So just notice what is present in your base, in your grounding. So our base in the teachings, in the chakra system, our base is our sense of support, home, security. So imagine right here in this moment a sense of safety and security. It doesn't need to be entirely this huge thing, just a building block for this moment. Right here in this moment, our needs are met and we can soften and feel safe and secure in our own bodies in this moment in time. And then right above that in the teachings, right in the navel center, is thought to be our creative center. Our creative center, our joyous center, right? Our creativity inspires joy. So feeling nice and sound and secure in our base, move on to the creative energy. So drawing right into the center of the belly, center of the navel. But if you like to add colors to help you be focused, you're going to imagine an orange swirling ball of energy here. And think of something creative that has sparked joy in you. Maybe your favorite painting, your favorite song, something creative. Maybe it's something you have created that really sparks joy every time you see it or every time that you think of it. And imagine this joyous sensation swirling through your stomach, your torso, swirling, healing. Maybe beginning as a tiny little ball right around the navel and then starting to grow and expand. Can you begin to soften your face into a soft, soft smile? And imagine this creative joy, your inner child, slowly spreading throughout your entire body, touching each and every cell with a little lightness, a little joy, a little playfulness. As if you're an artist sweeping your brush and touching each cell with a little joyous color. anytime the thoughts or distractions try to pull you away from painting your whole existence in this joyous sensation, return to the thing that you were thinking of, the image you were thinking of that sparks joy, and just repaint it in your mind. Maybe the thoughts are bombarding your mind. And just imagine that your mind is a canvas and you're just going to gently paint in that painting, that thing that sparks joy in you. Reminding your mind to think of something joyous, drawing it back to just this one thing to focus on for a moment in time. If you have more time to take practicing cultivating joy in this space, go ahead and take as much time as you need, gently allowing your mind to do what it does and drawing it back to your thing that cultivates joy. If you need to be finished up at 60 minutes where you're coming up to that point, so bring your hands together and really rub them together and make them nice and warm. And bring them to your thighs and make circles on your thighs. So really bring some circulation into your thighs. And then with your hands, just gently draw your knees back in towards center. And then roll on over to a fetal position. So whichever side is calling to you, land in a fetal position. Curl up in a little ball. And then imagine being wrapped up in that sensation of joy that we were cultivating. So a little bubble around you, surrounding you in a little joy. Maybe, again, thinking of that thing that sparks joy for you, the painting, or whatever it is that sparks a little joy. And imagine that you could just gently let go of some things in the way of that joy. So when we think of letting go, it's not that we pretend negative things have not happened in our lives. And it's not that in forgiving things that we condone behavior. It is that we let go of the attachment of that thing. So for me, I see the thing as part of me, and I just get rid of the tie or the well-worn path of emotion, and I let the thing be the thing. Let the memory be the memory. So the memory is there. Let go of the path that you get to the memory. Let go of the emotional burden around the memory. So letting go of these things that we might be ready to let go of. Not forcefully, but just imagining letting them fall onto the mat while you're wrapped in this bubble of joy. You don't need to cognitively understand them. You can think of ways of thinking of weight on your shoulders and allowing it to soften to the ground. Whatever you can think of to help you connect to the concept of leaving things on the mat. Leaving them on the mat. And as you rise up a little lighter, coming to a seat and bringing your hands to prayer and heart space. Now imagine that you're so wrapped in this bubble of joy that you have ready to give it back out into your community. So maybe think of just sending it out like a glowing light. Or perhaps think of somebody in particular you might like to wrap in this sensation of joy. And imagine your sensation of joy is multiplying as you begin to share it with someone else. It's that not that we give it away, it's that in sharing it, it multiplies for each of us. May we all know a little bit more joy throughout our day. May it remind us that even in our darkest corners, there's always something to be a little joyful for. And it can help brighten the darkest corners of our days, our lives, our fears. It's not that fear does not exist. It's not that we should whitewash it and clean it up and pretend it's not there. It's that we can cultivate space for joy even when things are tough. Thank you for joining me.